Williams, and we are so glad you're with us this morning because it's Monday with the mayor. Yay! And today we are coming to you live from, oh my gosh, yummy Boardwalk Fudge. And we've got owner Sandra Williams here with us. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, how are y'all?
Good. So tell us where you're located.
We're located at 710 Bradford, corner of Bradford and 8th, in Kemah, Texas.
Yeah. That's right. We're so proud. Terry, what is one of your favorite things about Boardwalk Fudge?
Oh my gosh, so many things. The aroma when you walk in the door, it just lifts you off your feet.
It's so good.
It's so
It's
good.
like we're enjoying some coffee and about to plunge in to these amazing cinnamon rolls. These are just a little sampling of what you'll find right here at Boardwalk Fudge. You have homemade fudge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you have pies, desserts, spices. Tell us a little bit about your stuff.
Okay, we do special orders on cakes and pies, homemade breads, cinnamon rolls. We make about 297 flavors of fudge.
Wait. I'm sorry. What did you hear her say?
297 flavors of fudge. Wow.
297.
Wow.
I think I leaned into like 4 flavors. So I mean, this is crazy.
Well, most people think as long as it's chocolate, it's fudge, but it doesn't have to be chocolate to be fudge. Okay. We also have all kinds of homemade salsas, jams, jellies, sauces, and things, and of course, we do feature the designer eggshells.
Yes. Sandra is incredibly talented, and you actually teach how to paint those eggshells.
We paint and bead and cut and do all kinds of things with eggshells.
Yeah, it's amazing. How long have you been in Kemah?
We have been in Kemah 29 years, going on our 30th year.
Wow, that is when is your anniversary date?
May the 17th.
Okay,
Next year.
Awesome. That's
I
exciting.
have to celebrate that.
Right.
Absolutely. Me, the mayor, and Debbie will be right here celebrating with you
Oh, yeah.
with some of your cinnamon rolls. This is so much fun. Sandra, thank you so much for having us here.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your hours that people can stop in.
We open at 10 every day except Tuesday. We're closed on Tuesdays.
Oh, okay.
We're usually here until the first part of the week. We're here until 7 o'clock, and then on Fridays and Saturdays we're here. I think on Fridays till 8 and Saturdays till 8:30.
I'm already in bed,
No.
but I might try to stop by. But okay, Sandra, this is so fun. Mayor, isn't this fun to be
It is
here?
fun. You know, I love this shop. And several years in a row, Stan and Sandra have made us a Christmas cake that we've ordered, one of the old-fashioned Christmas cakes, and just love it. Oh, man, it's just delicious.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
So delicious.
so good. And you can order your gifts for Christmas from Sandra. And when do you start taking orders for your homemade pies, fudge, all kind of goodies? You can get?
Okay, we do for Thanksgiving. So before
that's right.
Thanksgiving, you need to get your orders in. We have a cutoff date of about 4 days before the holiday. So get your orders in early because we have lots of standing orders that come in.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy here.
And we do corporates, so
Wonderful.
we do lots of the tins, the Christmas tins and holiday tins of the fudge for corporate orders and things like that.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Well, and the mayor and I sit here. You can actually see in the background, Sandra, right here at Boardwalk Fudge, has all kind of unique spices and fun things as well. So it's not just fudge or cinnamon rolls and cakes and pies, even though that would be enough. It's so good. You walk in here and you just want to stand here and
Don't forget
smell
the ice cream.
everything.
Did you say the ice
Oh
cream?
no, there's ice cream. There's also Bluebell ice cream. She served. It is the perfect spot to come when you have the family or kids, or you're just out on a day date in Kemah or at night. Stop on in, grab a drink, grab some coffee. I bet they'd make you some coffee if you wanted to. Everything is so much fun here. They've got ice cream, pies, fudge. You can have samples and taste things and be able to take some.
Sit in the garden.
Yes.
Sit in the garden right outside. It's just so beautiful here. We love it. We love Boardwalk Fudge. Okay, so give us your address one more time.
710 Bradford. It's on the corner of Bradford and 8th in Kemah, Texas. That's it.
And, okay.
You have a special event coming up in October.
We do.
What is it?
October the 19th,
Oh.
we have art and adoptions. We're going to have adoptions for animals, agencies here where you can come and adopt an animal. We're going to have the locals bring their pets. In costume, we want to have a pet parade.
Oh, wow.
But we're going to have some unusual artists. We're not going to have the run-of-the-mill paintings and things like that. We're going to have things that you're not going to see anywhere else.
Oh, my.
So I can't just drop off a painting here.
Yeah.
No, oh, that's a
Yeah.
bummer.
Not this time. Maybe next time.
Maybe for the amateur hour, Kelly, you can bring some stuff. So this is so much fun. Sandra, thank you for having us.
So welcome.
I-
Good to have you.
Yeah, we can't wait to have some of these cinnamon rolls. Oh my goodness, how good do these look? Yeah, this is awesome. So Sandra, what is a phone number if somebody wants to order their cake, pie, fudge gift, anything like that? How early should they do it for Thanksgiving? And what is the phone number?
Okay, the phone number is 281-538-4165. And I would get those orders in 2 weeks ahead of time.
Good idea. And probably 4 weeks for Christmas.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you, Sandra. We're so excited. Sandra Williams of Boardwalk Fudge, everybody, you've got to stop here. It's crazy good, and it's always you always feel like you're walking into someone's home because it smells so good with all kind of goodies in it.
Feels like home.
It does feel like home. I love this. Thank you so much, Sandra. We're excited. We'll see you again soon. All right. Okay, Mayor. Now it's down to the nitty gritty. Are you ready to talk about city business? That's right. Maybe that needs to be the name of the show.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Nitty gritty of the city. All right. So hi everybody watching this morning. This is Monday with the Mayor, and we're here with Kemah Mayor Terry Gill, and there is always so much going on in the city.
Yes.
And you were just elected this past May, so your plate has been extremely full.
It sure has.
With a lot of work, but a lot of fun things that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
That's going on, and so I'm going to try to see who's commenting and see if anybody has any questions. But would you check that, Debbie?
Sure.
And Debbie's here. Hey,
Yay!
Debbie, poke your head in. Yay!
Yay!
Okay, so Mayor Gill.
Yes.
Your top priority, now we talked about this a couple of shows ago because it has been a top priority in the city of Kemah for years.
Yes.
But you were actually making it top priority
Yes.
because it is hurricane season again.
Yes.
It's drainage.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what is happening.
Well, we worked really hard with council on a strategic plan and aligned across the council that drainage is in fact our top priority. And so we're working our capital plan to align to drainage projects. But most importantly, we've kicked off a master drainage plan for the city that has never been done here before. And it will encompass the whole city, not just pieces and parts of the city, because I think a lot of the issue with drainage that we see is a result of, cross neighborhood boundaries and two neighborhoods, for example, that drain both into the Jarbo Ditch and the Jarbo Bayou, and you can't really look at those things in isolation. In addition to that, we are working with the county. The county has kicked off, Galveston County has kicked off their own master drainage plan. So we'll be working with their engineers as well to make sure our plan dovetails with theirs, and that if there are any projects we can work on together, that we identify strategically what those can be. So I'm really excited. We have our first round of deliverables about mid-September, and we'll be starting to have some community meetings right after that to brief everybody on what's happening.
Yeah, that sounds great. I know it's a lot of hard work, but
It is.
you've been very focused on trying to make sure that gets done.
Yes, ma'am.
And along with the traffic,
Oh,
which we're going to talk about in a little bit because I want to keep this fun
yeah.
right now. But so tell us a little bit about, how long have you been mayor?
Oh gosh, it's just been a little
4
bit
months?
over 90 days.
90 days. Oh my gosh, 90 days. Okay, it seems like it's been longer than that. You've had so much going on.
Yeah.
What has been some of the most fun things that you've gotten to do so far since becoming mayor?
Gosh, just engaging with the community, but a couple of the events have been super fun. The last blast of summer, the water gun fight with the kids before they go back to school, that was a blast. Although I have to tell you, I think some of the big kids, the adults, also had every bit as much fun as the younger kids did, and I got the Gatorade container of chilled water dumped on my head by.
You got to do that.
Yeah,
the mayor dunk.
Yeah, some of the kids from the Kima Oaks neighborhood. But that was a blast. We've also engaged some of our community members to lead the prayer at every council meeting, as well as we've been engaging kids from the community to help lead the pledges. Different kids every time. So it's fun because they're starting to learn a little bit about government, and a couple of them want to come up and sit in the chair.
Love that.
Yeah, oh, me too. So, and I've been starting to get a lot of questions from some of the kids in the elementary and middle school about, well, tell me more about what it means to be mayor, and what's it really like. So
Yeah.
that's been really the best part about it.
Yeah, that has been so nice. And I have to tell you, and I told you this personally, but I want to tell it publicly. I love that you have brought back having an opening prayer to the city council.
Me too.
I think it's really important for people to know that our city does that, and we brought it back, and it's been wonderful. And I love that children have been leading the pledge, different children in our community, like you just said. So sweet.
Yeah.
And I don't think kids get to be a part of their official city business very much anymore. And it seems to be only the smaller cities that even tend to think about that very much, except for a special day or something. But you and the council have incorporated it. Every city council meeting, there's a special guest, there's children, there's fun things. I love that.
Oh, me too.
And if you've never been to a Kima City Council meeting, you need to just come on.
Yeah.
Because it is, it's entertaining, but it's very informative, and everybody's very nice.
Well,
And it's just a fun.
It's a great way to set the tone too for the meeting, because some of those meetings can be kind of intense and a little bit sharp, and it sets the tone that we are. It grounds us in the fact that we're still about our community, our children, and are grounding their faith.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's been inspirational to me to start the meetings, and thank you by the way for the meeting you led off with the prayer.
Yeah,
and
thank
you.
you.
Sang to me happy birthday.
Yeah, it was so funny because that was Debbie's idea. I love it. I loved it. It was my honor. I mean, it was just so wonderful to be a part of that. Thank you so much.
It was great because I saw her. She goes, "This is not on the agenda."
It was not on the agenda to sing me happy
Debbie
birthday.
set up a happy birthday surprise for the mayor, so that was really, really special. Okay, so being mayor of the city of Kima, even though we are a small city, we have big city problems.
Right.
We are a huge tourist destination. We are located right off of one of the busiest highways, Highway 146. What has been some of your challenges with the budget? Because y'all are now in budget sessions. So give us some of the priorities, some of the challenges that y'all are facing right now, and kind of what you're working on.
Well, a couple of the priorities, a lot of the past capital projects have focused on building roads and expanding City Hall, expanding the visitor center, and that's eaten up a lot of our capital. So we're working in a bit of a capital constraint situation. We want to definitely prioritize our drainage projects, and we've got a couple of smaller projects to finish up. But I think most importantly, we also want to focus on making sure we beautify Kima again, and that we are fixing up our parks. We're making sure that our public works crew is helping out with, and they are terrific. We're expanding our public works crew a little bit to help beautify some of the areas of Kima that need to surround the building. So making it more appealing again, and building out some of the park areas, as well as then we've got a lot of challenges with our traffic. Not a lot of that for us to do so much as it is for the DOT to finish their project, but there are surrounding issues with the boat ramp that's gone that we're trying to replace, the golf cart path, etc. And we're working through those challenges as fast as we can, but they are difficult at times.
Yeah, it is difficult because there's so much happening all at one time.
Oh yeah.
And you really have to prioritize, like you're really doing a great job prioritizing. And the thing is especially in the city of Kemah, if you have a question, if you're listening right now or watching the show, and you live in Kemah or live in the area and you have a question for the mayor or one of the council members, you can contact them directly.
Yes.
You can call City Hall at 281-334-1611. So I still remember that.
Good job. Yeah.
And how do they email each of you?
Our emails are on the city website. You can also reach us through Facebook, through my page, Terry Gale, Mayor, Kemah, Texas, or you can also just call or text my cell phone, and I think that's posted on the page too, 281-798-8533.
Awesome. And we've got a lot of people watching. Good morning, everybody. Scott said, which is your husband, he's Mr. Mayor, he said, bring a couple of rolls for Chris and I, please.
That sounds like something Scott would say.
Kelly over at Dispatch.
Do what?
Kelly and Dispatch.
Hi. Oh, Kelly wants one. We'll bring you one, Kelly. Hi. And then we want to say good morning to Amy, Shelly, Kelly, Stacy, Debbie, of course, Brittany, Jim. Jim said you are doing a great job.
Well, thank
Very
you.
nice. And hi, my daddy's watching. Hey, Doreen. Hey, Teresa. Hi, everybody. If you have a question for Mayor Gale, please type it in right here. Even if you don't live in Kemah, but you're interested about an event or you want some information, we can try to answer it right now for you, or we will find out for you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you've recently taken applications for events to sponsor.
Right.
Okay, so the council will be reviewing the committee recommendations in September. Is that like the pageant and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about, the deadline has already passed.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an event and if you want the city to be a sponsor, tell people how that works.
Yeah, there's a really good process where, so the hotels in the area pay a certain amount of tax, and you see that on your hotel bill. Well, a portion of that comes to the city, and we have a committee of hoteliers that will get together and look at the events that we can sponsor with those funds that will help bring more business to Kemah, especially that will bring hotel stays. So like the Miss Kemah pageant, which we look forward to every year, the Blessing of the Fleet, and some of the really fun events we do, including our Christmas celebration. This year should be really special. We've got Jimmy Sims and Bill Minnick spearheading the planning for this. They'll do a fabulous job. They've got a great lineup of events planned, and
We love Jimmy and Bill.
Yes, we
Hey,
do.
they're in LA right now. Hey, guys.
And so just the hoteliers will select a set of recommendations. They'll put them in front of the city council to review, and based on what we think those hotel revenues will generate, then we'll allocate out events to sponsor so we can keep that ball rolling and keep the growth coming in.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. And it is exciting. If you have an event that you would like to find out if it's even really an option for the city of Kemah to sponsor it or be a part of it, you can always call the city. They give you the information and the application to find out if your event could be possibly sponsored.
Yes.
So, and we've got more people that have tuned in. Hey, Brenton Spry. Hey, Shauna. Hi, Shauna. Thank y'all so much. Hi, Allison. Thank y'all so much for watching this morning. Okay, so, so this is the big issue that everybody wants us to talk about this morning. Traffic.
Right.
You were actually late this morning for the show. But you're busy, so.
And I knew the shortcuts.
And Debbie knew the shortcut, and she was late, and Sandra was late. This is a big issue that Kemah has dealt with for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. It has.
And it's gotten worse right now because if you do not know what has been happening, which I'm sure all of you probably do, it's the construction on the bridge.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on and what your thoughts on traffic are.
Well, this is part of a 5-year program to expand State Highway 146, and it starts way up at Red Bluff, but they're working on some of the critical spots first. And one of the first projects that they took on in this chunk of that expansion is the expansion of the Kemah Bridge. It will definitely be worth it in the end, but it's painful because that bridge is so much a focal point, and you can't get over the channel or over the lake again until if you go all the way over to Ebert Bay Boulevard.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a struggle, and we get a lot of northbound traffic in the morning, southbound traffic in the evening. It has become a choke point historically. What they'll be doing is building an upper level for the through traffic, which will help us locally immensely. But this is a painful growth period for us. This first project is actually ahead of schedule, thank goodness, but it's a long project. So, and the choke points for today are when they have to narrow the bridge down to one lane. It's really difficult. But they're adding an additional lane and a 14-foot bike and walking path as well.
Oh,
and that will really be super, especially for some of the events we have, like the triathlons.
yes.
Just
Wonderful.
people that want to start biking and walking and things. In the
I
fall,
do.
So. Yeah, me too. I know Paul walks a lot too.
I know it.
Yeah.
So after his knee surgery, he'll be up and walking. He's really excited about that path.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Now, Mayor, you actually just attended the TML conference
Uh-huh.
this past weekend. Was there anything new that we need to know
Wow.
that's coming out or happening, just in a short little blurb about that?
It was very interesting. I learned a lot about economic development and some of the inner workings of what the legislation has done to help the cities promote economic development and support what they're doing, as well as make sure that there are boundaries and guidelines. And the legislative update was real interesting as well. There are a lot of new laws that are going into effect on September 1st, and I've seen a few updates about that. Things that are a little crazy, like now kids can actually legally run a lemonade stand, which is pretty much common sense. But also some things that affect some of the firearms laws and some of the laws around just contracts and procurement for the cities that were very educational for me.
Yeah, it was really wonderful. I used to love going to TML because you did find out some of the hot new things that are happening in the state, and kind of, it really helps you kind of get back to the city and be able to make some good decisions and it helps some things. So that's wonderful that you were there.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about Christmas, again, really quickly, there are already events getting planned.
Yes.
I mean, here in Kemah, we actually start planning events way in advance.
Yes.
Because we get big crowds and they're lots of fun, and they're usually more than one day.
Yes.
It's usually a series of events. So these are always fun for you and your entire family. They're always family friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever want to find out what events Kemah is having, you can go online to where?
To our website, kematexas.gov, as well as visitkemah.com.
Okay, excellent. That's so good. Okay, so this is exciting because Kemah used to have, and it got kind of big for a while, it was the Kemah Merchants Association.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It was really, really fun, and I remember it back when I was on city council. It was a really great group of people. And Sandra was actually one of them. I mean, it was a wonderful benefit to the entire city and to all the merchants. It's coming back.
Yes, it is.
That is exciting. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm so excited about this because I think it's something that's been missing for so long, is that bonding of our local businesses and that focus on local business. But Keith Mercado came to me actually even before the election and said, would you consider helping to bring this back? And I said, absolutely. I can't think of anything that's more important to us than making sure we have that thriving local business to help support our community and give it the character that really supports our families. So the first meeting, Keith organized the first meeting, and it kicked off on August 15th, and there will be a monthly meeting to just bring the merchants together, plan various events. One of the things that the group will be focused on is starting to think about in advance the Kemah 55th anniversary celebration and what we'll do to really celebrate, another landmark in Kemah's history. And it was a well-attended event. the kickoff meeting. There were probably about, I think, 32 people there representing all sorts of types of businesses, from restaurants. Boardwalk Fudge was there, Keith's Kima Coach business, printing business, and there were several people there, insurance, pressure washer building business, etc. So it was quite a diverse group, and some of the more recognizable names like Pool Cow Creamery and Boardwalk Fudge, as well as some of the ones that don't get as much notoriety. So we want to make sure that our events and our city activities also help to promote the local businesses as well as the boardwalk.
Absolutely. And Kima, the city of Kima really, since I've lived here for 20 years now, it is all about community. And it is all about really supporting our residents, our small businesses, and doing everything that we can to support them. And this is actually why Monday with the Mayor right here in Kima was kind of formed when we all talked. It was a great way to promote our local businesses and talk about things that people may not get to ask you. Right. And we get to hear you and ask some questions and have people ask you personally and get to know you a little bit better. Okay, so this happened, I guess it was last week, the active shooter that was happening. And, it wasn't an active shooter. I'm sorry. There's an active shooter seminar. Right. But there was the carjacking, almost kidnapping at the Texaco right here in Kima, which that never happened. So, unfortunately, this is the world we're living in, and everybody has to be prepared. Yes. And we are extremely blessed that our Kima police are very well trained and have a really great response time and are there for our community. That's right. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened?
I don't know a lot of the details, or I guess, other than what's been publicized, but I would tell you that I was next door at the active shooter seminar when this happened, and the police chief, left rather rapidly. I'm so proud of the chief, Chief Walter Gant, and our police force that they responded so quickly, and that the victim herself was so aware of her surroundings to try to do something to at least bring some attention to what was happening, so she could get some help promptly. And they were there in less than a minute. I couldn't be prouder of that, because it was a random event. The gentleman wasn't from here. He pulled into our gas station, and this kind of thing could happen anywhere.
Exactly.
And so it's a good lesson to all of us to be aware of our surroundings, but also to make sure that when we are alone in a situation like that, I stop and get gas all the time by myself, and it's always a good reminder to make sure that I'm aware of my surroundings, and if I see anything unusual, that I make sure I can find a way to get some help.
Absolutely. And I think one of the biggest lessons that was learned from this event, and because it happened right here in our hometown, because it can happen anywhere, and these things do happen. Don't be on your phone. Just like what you said, pay attention to your surroundings. These are ways that we can be proactive and really make sure we are as safe as possible. Yes. Because we do have to get gas by ourselves. You do have to run to the store by yourself. You do have to do things where you're not going to be around friends, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. And so you're going to have to make sure that you pay attention and that we are not distracted by texting, our phone, whatever it is, right. And that you know what you're going to do, like what you just said. If something happens, what are you prepared to do? Right? How do you get help with that? And that is a big deal, and I think people need to be prepared for that. Yes. Will there be another active shooter seminar or something that the community can go to?
I'm sure there will. I know Lee City has already had one as well, and they're planning another one. I think we'll plan another one, and I would really encourage any of the citizens who haven't joined the Citizens Police Academy to do so, because that was one of the things that I think was most educational for me. Scott and I went through the program several years ago, actually, and it was very well structured. It's run by Officer Alex Torres now, and he goes through a lot of different topics over the course of the Citizens Police Academy that really do help raise your awareness not only about what our police officers and our first responders and our fire department and those folks go through, but also with things that you as a citizen can and should do to keep yourself safe, to help keep a watch on the neighborhood, and just make sure that together we work on public safety. It's all of our responsibility.
Absolutely. And one thing that I really love what you're doing is that a lot of small cities will try to not talk about things that are happening because they don't want people to know these are happening in their city. Well, communication and being proactive is the key to keep everybody safe.
Yes.
And so the fact that our city, you are leading the way and really being proactive and making sure our community is getting educated on what is happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's just the way the world is right now. Okay, so what are we doing about it?
We need
To make
know.
sure everybody is safe, and we're going to provide you with the information. The city will have links and information. You can contact them. You can contact our police department. They are all here for us.
Yes.
And so it's a big deal, and I really love that because communication is a huge part
It is.
of keeping our community safer.
Yeah. It is, and we're going to be trying to work with the various folks in the community. Not everybody likes the same vehicle to receive their communication, so we're trying to figure out all of the different ways to deliver that communication, whether it's social media or a newsletter or the electronic sign we have, or all of the different ways that we can communicate with people. We want to make sure we hit those as much as possible.
Okay, great. We want to say hi to Allison, Lisa, Chansey, and Ariel. Good morning. Okay, so Mayor, are we? I know we're already in the middle of hurricane season.
We are.
It's through November.
Uh-huh.
Are there going to be any more hurricane meetings, updates, or things we need to be looking for?
Yes, we will likely have a hurricane preparedness reminder, and as we get into the late August, early September, that becomes the real active time for the hurricanes. So I'm glad you brought that up because that had occurred to me as well. I was watching some of the storms in the Gulf just yesterday, and watching the weather sites. I guess that makes me dull, doesn't it? But I used to watch TV. I just watched the weather. Scott's been a good influence on me there.
That's what happens when you become mayor.
I don't know.
You watch the Weather Channel.
It definitely we will likely have another hurricane preparedness reminder session for people because we tend to have it at the beginning of the season and then we get comfortable because nothing happens and people start to get to relax. So another reminder session will be coming up.
Okay, that is excellent. So you can find out all of this information and ask questions, find out about events in the city of Kemah. Go to kemah-tx.gov, right?
Or Facebook page, City of Kemah.
Or Facebook page, City of Kemah,
TX.
TX. Okay, it's all digital now. So it's wonderful. We are so happy you're here. Okay, so on a more fun note, really quickly, if we open your fridge today, what would we find? And spill it. Tell us the truth.
Oh, wow. A relatively new discovery is cran mango juice.
Hey, that sounds good.
It is good.
Yeah, I'm gonna come over later and have some.
It's probably about as low calorie as these cinnamon rolls, but yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yummy. Okay, so if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Gosh. Leap small buildings in a single bound, no doubt, because that'd be able to get over the bridge.
That's a good one. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching today. Thank you, Sandra, for having us right here at the fabulous Boardwalk Fudge. Thank you, Debbie Hart, for everything. Thank you all, guys. Thank y'all so much. It's been so much fun with you again. You can watch Monday with the Mayor every month, and we'll let you know when the next one is. We're going to be highlighting another Kemah business, and so we'll let you know as soon as that is. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for more Kelly Williams Show later this week, and we hope you have a blessed, wonderful day. See y'all later. Bye.